Welcome to the Armani Talks YouTube channel, the #1 YouTube channel for you to level up your communication skills, learn the art of public speaking, social skills, and personal branding to take your message to the world. For today's episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to create magic. You heard that right. You're going to be learning how to create magic. You may have been doing it your entire life, but you were just unaware of it. You ever created money out of thin air? You ever closed a deal that you didn't think about even closing in thin air? Did you ever form a relationship out of thin air? I'm sure you've done it multiple times. How are you able to do it? By magic. Your voice. Your voice allowed you to convey information in order to get your point across, in order to get the results that you wanted. I know you've done this multiple times in your life. I don't care how much of a loser you are. Every now and then, your voice carried you to some wins. So if that's the case, if your voice is so powerful, if its ability is to create magic, how come more people aren't taking the time to refine it? Ask yourself, are you treating your voice like something that's fixed? Or are you treating your voice like something that's a musical instrument? Something that you're constantly learning to play better and better and better on a day-by-day basis? Which boat do you fall in? Because unfortunately, most people fall in the first boat. And I know because I used to fall in the first boat. I want to tell you a little story. And this is a story from, I would say, over 20 years ago. This is when I had first landed in the United States of America. And around this time, I had to learn how to speak English. I mean, I could speak, but it was very poor in my eyes. So I spent the next few weeks preparing right before kindergarten was going to start. And by the time kindergarten started, a part of me felt as though I was ready. I was like, all right, Armani, you're doing a pretty good job. Your voice right now, it's not that bad. Well, around that time, once I entered kindergarten, the other students, they didn't feel the same way. They were like, yo, Armani, your accent is really, really noticeable. It's really bad. And I remember one of my friends at that time was telling me that, Frankie. I'm like, Frankie, you need to get your ears checked. Later on, there was another boy named Steve that was like, yo, Armani, your accent is really, really bad. Once again, I'm thinking, huh? I'm like, yo, bro, I just told Frankie to go to the ear doctor. You should visit him. Y'all should carpool together. And I just kept hearing student after student after student just telling me how noticeable my accent was. And I'm thinking at this point, America really has people with poor hearing. Because I was in denial. I was thinking like, there's nothing wrong with my voice. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It's as though my ego was shielding me. Well, a few weeks later, one of my Bengali friends, he ended up getting a camcorder. Now, this is way before phones had cameras in it. So this was a big deal. We're like, oh, whoa, camcorder? Like, this is pretty dope. And I remember he was just recording everything that he could get his eyes on. And soon enough, he pointed it at me and he's like, yo, Armani, say something. And I was a little embarrassed. I was like, yo, don't record me. Do not record me. So he got the camera, he clicked stop, and he played the tape back to me. And I was mortified by what I heard. Like, I was really, really scared because I couldn't believe it. I was in shock. What I heard was, yo, don't record me. Don't record me. It was by far one of the most peculiar things I heard in a long time. It's as though my words were just being stretched out. Rather than just saying out, I was saying out. It was just stretched. And it was crazy because this is exactly what all the other kindergarten kids were telling me. But for me, I wasn't aware of it. I literally just became aware when my friend recorded me and played the tape back for me. And at that point, my ego had been shattered. I was like, really? I actually sound like this? And I've been talking like this for so long? I can't believe it. And I was really, really sad. But at least on that day, I became aware. And I spent the last 20 plus years working on my voice, trying to refine it and trying to really, really improve it. And one thing that I want you to understand is that your voice it is 100% capable of being changed. Because nowadays, a lot of people, they don't really notice an accent like that. Some people will say, well, when you talk long enough, I could kind of hear it. But for the most part, they don't hear that bad of an accent as before. Before, I also used to stutter. Nowadays, that doesn't happen as much. Before, I used to mumble. Nowadays, that doesn't happen as much. Before, I used to talk like this, very soft voice. But now, it doesn't happen as much. So your voice, it's not something that's fixed. It's something that's dynamic. You can continuously change it throughout your life anytime that you want to change it. Now in this video, I told you that I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you a secret about improving your voice. You want to know what the secret is? It's to place more importance on the belief before the tactics. Belief, then the tactics. Most people, what they do is they just focus on the tactics and they just hope the belief works its way out. You don't want to do that because right now, a lot of people, when I tell them like the tactics to fix their voice, which I'm going to get to shortly, they do it, but they have a very half-hearted effort. It's like me telling you to go sell me something, but you think you're a bad salesman. So are you going to really give it your 110%? No. You may do the same thing that I'm telling you to do, the tactics, but ultimately you're not giving it 110% effort because your belief isn't there. It's the same reason why people in the beginning of New Year's are so motivated. They have a false belief, aka motivation, and they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So they just start focusing on the tactics, the gym, and they just keep doing it over and over. And within 2 to 3 weeks in, what happens? They quit. And it's because they didn't think of the belief beforehand. All right, Armani, I'm sold. I'll follow your secret. I'll focus on the belief before the tactics. How do I focus on the beliefs? Well, the way that you get a God-level belief in terms of improving your voice is to start sensing the spirituality side of all of it. Now, you may be like, wait, spirituality? I thought you were going to help me fix my voice. What's all this about? Listen. If you just want to fix your voice, you can always do that. But if you want long-term results and you want to get the maximum amount out of your voice, where you're actually not just fixing the musicality of your voice, but you're actually conveying a strong message, you need a little spiritual element to you. Now, what does this all mean? Listen, I'm not going to give you a whole lecture on spirituality, but the core principle I want you to understand is that we're all one. Okay, we're all one. Now, this may seem a little weird to you, but if you really break it down into the quantum level and you break ourselves down into the lowest level form, you'll see that energy is really waves and us interacting are all in wave-like form. So in many ways, like science can back up the spiritual concept, but yes, we are all one. And when you start understanding this core belief, you start to understand that, we are all one. All right. That means my voice has a huge effect on my reality. Because what is your voice? Your voice basically allows you to communicate your internal world, your thoughts and your feelings to the external world. Your voice allows you to be all in one. It allows you to communicate your message to the world. So you leading with the spiritual belief like we're all one, I need to enhance my voice. I understand the message and the value that I can provide. And the main way that I'm going to provide it is through my voice. You don't see any great leaders talking like this. They just don't do that. If you know that you have gifts or you're a very ambitious person, then you owe it to yourself, but more importantly, to mankind to keep on enhancing your voice on a day-by-day basis. When you have this kind of belief from the very get-go, now the tactics that I'm about to share to you, you're going to do it with much more enthusiasm. Because you feel like you're the chosen one in many ways. So start unlocking that spiritual side to you. Understand that we're all one. And in order for you to really leave your impact into this world, you gotta work on your voice. It is the bridge between your internal world and your external world. The voice is what's allowing me to communicate my message to you right now. So that's the belief part of it. Tactics, look, I'm a very simple guy. I'm not gonna give you all these different convoluted methods to fix your voice. It's simple. You speak more, you listen to yourself speak, and you speak more and you listen to yourself speak. That's it. That's how I improve writing. You write more and you read your writing out loud. That's it. So you don't got to make it all complex. Now, how you do it, you can get creative with that. There's two ways that I typically suggest, and if you're really feeling like a go-getter, you can combine these two ways. The first way is the private way, and I call this the audio journals. Most people, they write their journal, what? Through writing, right? They write their journal. Well, how about you record your journal via audio? You can get a recorder on your phone, or you could just get a recorder on your laptop, or you can just buy one from Amazon. And just basically journal, but do it with your voice. This is something you could do it in your private time. And more importantly, not only are you enhancing your voice, you're spotting the quirks, you start going through the uncomfortable feelings, but you start understanding yourself on a deeper level. That's one way. That's the private way. The public way is that you start a podcast. I often get questions like, yo, Armani, you have a YouTube channel, a podcast, Twitter, like, how do you have all the time? Well, the way that I operate is I'm operating from that belief. The better the YouTube channel gets, the podcast gets, the better the world gets, right? So for me, this is all fun. But the podcast is huge because it allows you to be much more mindful of your voice. You're actually listening to yourself, and you understand that other people are going to be listening to you as well. So you got to bring your A game, all right? And sometimes if a few people want to combine the two, and that's perfectly fine. For me, for example, I record my audio journals on my podcast and I just release it. At times it's going to make you feel a little uncomfortable because a lot of stuff that you don't normally feel comfortable sharing, you are sharing it. But then again, it allows you to produce despite uncomfortable feelings, which is huge. That's it. That's the tactic part. The hardest part of improving your voice is sitting through and listening to all the quirks in your voice. I guarantee you, no one likes their voice when they're first hearing it. No one. I don't care how nice your voice is. I don't care if you're the best singer in the world. No one likes hearing themselves on tape in the initial stages. It's because when you're hearing yourself on tape, the audio is coming through right here. When you're hearing yourself in real life, the audio is going like this. So your skull kind of distorts the noise. But you gotta hear how you really, really sound, okay? And that's when you start understanding which parts you need to improve, okay? This isn't something that just happens overnight. This is something that happens over time. So pick your poison. You could either journal or you could do a podcast. But don't even begin this until you get the secret part right, the belief. The belief is what is going to allow you to do the tactics 10 times better. So give this a try. It really is that simple. You don't have to do all these other different ways. You don't need to get a voice coach and anything like that yet. If you don't find benefits from my method, then, look for other help. But for the time being, work on your beliefs. Understand that your voice connects you to the entire planet. And if you want to make an impact on this world, you gotta fix your voice, fam. You gotta fix it. That's the belief. Then, once you're really amped up with that belief and it's becoming ingrained into your very existence, now create an audio journal, start a podcast, and keep listening to yourself over and over again. You'll become much more mindful of how you sound, and you'll become much more mindful on the next time you're recording on how you should be speaking. That's it. So go on and implement these tips today. If this video helped you, make sure you drop a like for me right on below so other people can run across this as well. Thank you, my friend, for joining the Armani Talks YouTube episode, and I'll catch you next time.